Om. In this video, I'm going to reveal secrets on why number 6 is the earth plane, Satan, and why it is the main theme of our life. This is a very, very fascinating one where I'm going to be using both numerology and astrology to explain this universal truth. Number 6 is consequences. 5 is when you have sex. 6 is the resulting effect, the family that you have to take care of. It is the effect, the consequences of the sex. 6 is the earth. Now, we have to back this up to really understand this. If you understand who you are, which is God, which means you are beyond time, you have simultaneously realized and experienced everything. There's nothing you can learn, nothing you can know, nothing you can gain. So Earth is not a school as much as it is a game. It is, what would it be like? It's a spontaneous desire. What would it be like to experience myself from that perspective? And Earth is where you experience the consequences of that spontaneous desire. 5 is spontaneity. 6 is the consequences. But there's more. If you look at astrology, we can see that Venus is the number 6. And what sign does Venus rule? Libra. What is Libra depicted as? The balancing of the scales, the balancing of the consequences. Where is Saturn, the planet of karma, exalted? Saturn is exalted in Libra because Saturn rules the earth plane. That's why they say Saturn rules this place, or in other traditions you can say, they say Satan rules this world. Saturn is exalted when he is facilitating the karma directly. Saturn is the planet of darkness. Libra is where Saturn is exalted, and directly across from that sun, the light, is exalted. So they are opposites. This is where the sun, which is the soul, comes to do shadow work and really attain mastery, because Saturn is also mastery. So it's important to understand this, that the dark forces, Satan, whatever you want to call it, 666, is not pure evil and operating independently. It is simply a tool, a medium through which you can experience consequences. You can call them undesirable. You can call them negative consequences. These are definitions that are modulating the purity of what they are, which is simply consequences. So fifth house, Leo. Leo is creative for self-gratification. 6, Virgo, the Virgin. Selfless service. And this ties into the next part. What is the success code? Now let's go back into Chaldean numerology before going back into astrology. The inner aura of a 6 is a 12. 66/12. Selfless service. When the ego surrenders to cooperation. Now, again, we go back to astrology, and Saturn is the servant. Sun is the king. The moon is the queen. Jupiter is the guru of light. Venus is also sometimes considered the guru of the material pleasures. Mercury is the prince, so on and so forth. Venus is also sometimes the princess. Saturn is the servant. Saturn is exalted in the 7th house, the house of Libra, where the scales are being balanced. It is reinforcing the same idea from Chaldean numerology. The success code, the hack, is through selfless service. That is how you make it through the karma. That is how you balance out the karma. Selflessness. This is why Sun is debilitated here, because Sun is self, an individual. 6 is unity. It is selflessness. This is what we're supposed to be doing on the earth plane. Now, even more, 7th house is also the house of relationships. Venus is also the number, or 6 is also the number of emotional bonds, relationships. What does that tell you? Well, take a guess at what is the number 1 modality through which we balance out our karma? Relationships. Number 7, opposite from number 1 in the 12 cycle, the way that the zodiac is organized. 1 is the self, 7 is a relationship. It is where the self is reflected. That is what we experience as relationships, reflections of ourself. It is through interacting with reflections of ourself that we are able to see our shadow. You see how this all comes back around. All this, whether it's numerology, whether it's astrology, is all saying the same universal truths, which have then been mythologized if that's even a word, in the religions or dogma of Saturn, Satan, and the evil forces and dark versus light. It's all yes and no. Those mythologies are true, but it's a matter of perspective. You have to look at them through the right lens, so you see them for what they are. So you're not taking them from the light, from a wrong perspective. The darkness is used as a tool to balance out karma. Also, relationships. The success code is selflessness. It is through service, humility. Where Leo is humbled, where Sun is humbled. The opposite of the sign is where they do their shadow work. That is where they achieve mastery. Why? Because it's one thing to be in your sign of exaltation. But can you be exalted in an environment where the environment does not support you? Do you really have that level of mastery? This is what this debilitation is. That's why Saturn and the Sun, S-U-N. Saturn is the S-O-N, the Sun of the Sun, S-U-N. It is Saturn who brings mastery to the soul. 8, the number of mastery, the number of culmination, climax, power. Mastery is power. Saturn, Satan, whatever you want to call. We're going to stick with Saturn here because Satan is sort of it is a incomplete truth. Saturn, let's take it as the number 8. 8 is what brings mastery to the soul. That is why the number 81 is the number of discipline. When discipline is applied, which is long-term awareness, selflessness, the soul achieves mastery. And they achieve completion. 8 plus 1 is 9. I hope this video helps you to understand some of the universal truths, some of the success codes, especially for number 6. So when you're seeing 6 days, the 6th, the 15th, the 24th, if you were born on a 6, these are some lessons. Looking at relationships from a different perspective, how you're working out karma. That's why the main theme for 6 people is relationships. So I think I will stop the video here. Any questions, comments, feedback, leave it underneath this video. If you're not following me on Substack, that is my central hub for all my free content, podcasts, blogs, articles, notes, videos, daily. Subscribe or follow and check out the archives at substack.com/@Aumra, A-A-U-M-M-R-A. To book a reading, visit aumra.com. Until next time, wishing the best, happy manifesting. God bless. Om.